Hey, howdy, what's up? Says I'm live. Hopefully it's right. Of course, I come on and I get like a little frog in my throat. I can't be trusted to drink water like an adult. I just spilled it in my boobs. Hi, everybody. I am Crystalyn Renner. Welcome to the Bold Vocal Academy. If you're joining me, if you're new, make sure you message me and say hi. I have a couple messages to get back to you as well. So if you're watching this and you're like, you said to message me, and I did, and you didn't say hi back, I know you're there. I'm coming, I promise. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Hope you're enjoying holiday sing extravaganza. I know I have had a ball doing this. And yeah, so if you're here live, when you show up, go ahead and say live. Also, there's a little bit in the comment description, in the in the post description, it says to click here to let StreamYard have access so I can see who's here and who's talking. So say hello, put hashtag live in the comments, let me know that you are here. And today what I'm going to cover is basically how to use your technology to sing online. Hi, Amy, I see you. This is very particularly helpful if you're going to study voice with an online teacher, such as myself. Me and Amy were just in a session. We were like, hey, how do we do this? So I'm going to show you now. Say hi when you join me. Hello if you're joining live. But there's a lot of different approaches. So let me just start this by saying that like there's a million ways to do this, and not one of them is right or wrong necessarily. There are some that, depending on the equipment you're using, that are going to work better than others. Oh, let me see. Speaking of equipment, hold on. Where's my phone? Uh-oh. 1 second. Let me get my other device because I'd like to show you my setup if I can. 1 second. But where is it? Hey, Shu, how's it going? No, you're right in the right place, Shu. You don't need to go on Zoom. I'm going to be just broadcasting this one live. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave them in the chat. I'll be happy to get to them. Let me really quickly invite myself onto this stream with my other device so that I can show you some things on my side. Guests, okay. Well, I might not remember how to do that. It's been a while since I learned how to do this platform that I'm using. There's so many platforms, by the way. When we start getting into live stream, it's kind of crazy. All right, I'm just going to leave this out and get started because I think you'll get the idea. All right, so welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, if you're working with an online vocal coach, I love teaching online. I find it to be fine. Danielle Tucker and I talked about this. If you watch the replay from Danielle's Pandemic Proof Singer Summit presentation from last week, there are a few drawbacks to having a live lesson versus an online lesson. And one is that like there used to be a lot of hands-on adjustments in the body. Shu, don't worry about the songwriting live. It's in, I got the video to upload. Yes, it is in the, hi Bonnie, it is inside the Facebook group, the replay, so you can catch it there. And just, I also put a new prize in. If you do the songwriting workshop and write a song and post it in the group, you will get a prize. There's no like competition for best song or anything. It's just like, if you complete that task, I will give you a prize because I would love to see some creativity come out of y'all this week. Okay, so back into this. Hold on, I'm going to take a breath because can you tell I'm so excited? My energy's like, woo! I'm going to just take a moment and ground. And you're welcome to join me. I'm going to feel my 2 feet on the floor. I'm going to roll my shoulders back. I'm going to take a deep breath into my belly. Okay. So again, the drawbacks to being live, the main difference is that we can't touch you and like, you know, like roll your shoulders back or like put our hands on your belly. But honestly, like that's a little bit intrusive anyway. And I think that's a very classical technique. So that may be a drawback if you're trying to learn classical music, but generally this is going to serve you just as well, especially if we can get your sound settings in a way that it's not like super crunchy and you're not cutting out. So first of all, if all you have, you kind of need 2 devices to do online vocal lessons or karaoke or open mics. You really do need 2 devices. So right now I'm on my Mac laptop and I'm on my iPhone. Obviously you can do this with non-Apple products too. I just happen to be an Apple person. So the very most simple basic option is I would stream into the stream on my phone and use the laptop to play music maybe through a speaker. That would probably be the best way if you're just using the room sound, because this microphone, if you don't have any other equipment, this microphone is better than the laptop microphone. So if you have to just use device sound and you don't have any kind of mic, this is the way. The next best way is to use these are not great, but they're better than, first of all, you can hear better. And second of all, they have this little mic. So if you're plugging in with these, you're going to get a much clearer signal on the voice. You might not get the background room noise of the track. So this isn't ideal for karaoke because you can't really hear the background music. But mostly what I'm going to focus on today is how to set it up within Zoom. So I'm assuming in this conversation, we're assuming you're on a computer or an iPad, like something that has a desktop version of Zoom. And I'm going to show you. Sorry, one sec. One of our members is asking where to find me. Okay. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do it on Zoom mostly. And then I'll show you some alternatives too. But this is the best practice if you have both actually you don't need 2 devices if you have a computer. You can do it with the computer. So do I know how to do Zoom Live and in the Facebook group? Yes, I can show you that too. So one of the things, I've not had great luck with that because you have, in Facebook, I use Chrome browser and it does not like to go live on Chrome. So we would have to open up Zoom and Chrome in like Firefox or Internet Explorer or one of the other browsers in order to do that. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me show you what we got going on. Now you're like in this crazy loophole. Hello. But I'm going to take you off of the screen and show you where we're at. So let's go into Zoom. I'm going to open up Zoom. Let me just check that. Okay, cool. So in Zoom, there's a couple of sound settings that are really important, whether or not you're using a fancy microphone and an interface or whether you're using just your earbuds and your headphones. What we want to do is make it so that the sound doesn't compress, because Zoom has some built-in algorithm settings that compresses background noise so that you don't get like pens tapping and paper crinkling and dogs walking around in the background. And we actually don't want that because music overtones are very important, and the overtones of music get interpreted by Zoom as background noise and they get squashed and compressed. And so that's like when you hear somebody singing online and they start to sound like they build up to a loud note and it just disappears, or it kind of gets squashed. That's what's happening. So the way we fix this, we open Zoom. That's what I opened here. I'm on my home screen. So if you're in chat or messages or in your schedule, you're going to want to come back to this home button right here. And then we're going to go to settings. Okay, so this little settings wheel. Inside of settings, we're coming into the audio section. All right, so audio, first of all, let's just make sure we're in all the right spots. Right now, this is your output. I want my headphones because that's what I'm listening out of. So, but you see I can have same as system, my built-in output, which is my headphones. I can have my audio box is my interface that I'm using. I could have the sound go out through there and plug my headphones into that. But then I would not be hearing like my client. So if I'm working with you, I would only hear my voice. And right now I do not hear my voice in my headphones. I don't have any kind of monitor. I'm strictly wearing the headphones so I could hear my clients or you if you were on this call with me. And like I would hear the computer sound when I bring it up. So I want this to be in the headphones. And then this is another extension I'm not using right now. Okay, then we're gonna check our microphone. You can see mine's working by all the hello, hello, hello. Hey, we can make sure it's not clipping. We don't want it to go up here to that red. Hey, hey. Okay, so we're not clipping. That's good. And we want I'm using my audio box, which is an interface, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that in just a second. If you were using headphones, it would be built-in microphone. If you were using a USB mic, you would find your USB mic in this menu and choose that. That's what I would recommend for you if you're planning on singing online a lot and you don't want to invest in a full studio rig, which requires an audio interface and like a fancy condenser mic. The two mics that I love for live streaming are the Audio-Technica USB 2020 Plus. That's a really good one for vocals. Billie Eilish just recorded her whole last album on that. And what's nice about it is it goes straight into the laptop. It's a USB plug, so you don't need any other interface or special cables or anything to use it. And it also has a headphone jack that you can plug into the mic, so you can actually monitor how the mic sounds by plugging into it. The other I would recommend is the Yeti, the Blue Yeti USB mic, which is more for like podcasting and speaking, but it would probably do a very good job on vocals and music as well. So I am using an interface. I'm using an Audio Box USB interface with a Rode NT1 studio condenser mic. And so again, that kind of requires extra equipment. I need to have XLR cables. I need to have a stand for my microphone. Those ones that are USB mics just come with the stand built in. They come with like a little tripod that holds your mic. You don't have to buy any extra gear. So that's definitely where I would start if you're looking to do a mic. You could also plug into this audio box that I'm using. I could plug in just my regular microphone, like my actual SN58 or my wireless unit. So if I wanted to sing into a handheld mic, I would run that through the audio box USB as well. Okay, so we've got these two in the right setting, and we want to make sure that this box right here is off. The automatically adjust microphone volume, we want that off, okay? Because that's gonna, like, again, it's gonna, when you sing, you're gonna have hot signal and you're gonna have quiet signal, depending on your volume. And you don't want the algorithm within Zoom to start, you know, manipulating that for you. So this box needs to be unchecked. So do not automatically adjust microphone volume. And then this is new. So this is different than when I set mine up originally because this program just updated for me. I'm gonna check in with the comments. Can you guys see and hear everything all right? Yeah, looks good. Okay, cool. All right, I don't see any complaints, so that's good. All right, so back to the screen. I think. Yeah, cool. All right. So low is the one that we want. We don't want to suppress background noise. This is, again, like pens scratching. Oh, when I clicked that, it took me into the internet. And so it's going to give you an overview. If you're not sure, you can click on it. It's going to give you all this information online. And this is basically what I'm walking you through right now. But I'll just tell you about it here instead of making you read the manual. The auto setting is what we do not want. If you're speaking, like if you're just having a meeting on Zoom and you're not making music, then you do want auto because, like, again, if your dogs or cats are like scratching around in the background or, you know, anything of that. Oh, even that, like my dogs bark a lot. So I could even go into high, which means like if my dog's barking or I'm like on my keyboard, it might take those sounds out of the recording, which would be great because my dogs are jerks, and whenever I get going, they decide to go nuts, even though they're quiet literally all the time when I'm not online. So medium and then low. Low is what we want for music because we want those overtones, like when my voice rings out in the room, because that's resonance. When you experience resonance in your voice, you want those background sounds to come back at you. Like you want that sound bouncing off the wall and ringing in the piano and ringing in the guitar to come through. So that's our setting there. Unchecked this box, check the low box here. And then this is very important. This is the most important of all of this, which is music and professional audio. Show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone. Yes, we must have that on. And then we have a few modes here as well. So when original sound is enabled, which it is because, well, no, the option is enabled. So this doesn't actually put original sound on. It just gives you the option inside of your meetings to enable it. Okay, so now I'll show you when we get to the screen. You'll have a button that says enable, turn on original sound. And when you're singing or playing music, you'll want it on. But again, when you're speaking, you might not want it on. So I wouldn't necessarily go back and forth, back and forth. It's just if you're using Zoom for meeting purposes, like in classroom settings or business settings, you probably don't need this on. But for music, it's imperative. So high fidelity music mode is if you've got a great studio setup. Okay, so let's just read this little box. It optimizes Zoom audio for the highest quality music. It can increase CPU utilization and consume greater network bandwidth. For best results, an Ethernet connection, not Wi-Fi, is strongly recommended. If you're live streaming a show, I recommend Ethernet all the time. My Mac, I have a MacBook Air, and it didn't have an Ethernet port. So what I ended up doing was getting an adapter to a USB. So I have this little USB cable adapter that goes into an Ethernet cable. I bought an Ethernet cable at Staples for like 20 bucks probably. And I bought one that's like 30 feet long. It runs across my whole living room all the way back to the TV where the router is. Because that, like if you saw that first video I made in this series, it was all grainy. That's what happens when I live stream without plugging into the Ethernet. It's just running so much information through the system and streaming on the internet. It's very easy to get that grainy signal or have it cut out. So I would only be using this if you have a pretty pro setup and you have, of course, that Ethernet cable. So if you're trying to do a live stream and you're running through your like soundboard and your audio interface and you've got your studio mic, you might want to try this for the best quality sound. But in general, I would say most of you don't need that. But the one that's very important is this one, disable echo cancellation. We do want that. So, but this does mean that you need to have a headset on. And so that's kind of one of those reasons I said grab those earbuds, even if it's just the ones that came with your phone or laptop that have the mic built in. Because when you and I are working together, or like if you don't have headphones on and I'm like playing piano and you're singing along to my piano, then it's basically going to come through the room that you're in and back through your microphone and come back to me, and it's going to create kind of a feedback loop and an echo, and we don't want that. So you can have that echo cancellation on if you're just like, again, in a classroom or professional setting. But with music, we really want that to be, we want the echo because we want to hear the music, but you do need to be wearing a set of headphones so that your sound isn't coming out straight from the computer. And honestly, the computer speakers sound terrible. They sound terrible. Just wear headphones. You should be wearing headphones just for your own ears' benefit. And then a quality microphone is strongly recommended here too. And again, that bare minimum would just be those earbuds or AirPods with the mic built in. Using stereo audio, again, this is more of an advanced feature. It does have the same thing. You're going to need that Ethernet cable. It's going to take up more CPU. It's going to just take more bandwidth. This processes a lot more information. But if you're running, for example, through a mixer, like we have a QSC audio touch mix, the QSC touch mix board, and we can plug that into the interface and run our whole band setup through the mixing board like we would for a live show, and then run the signal into the interface and run the interface into the USB, and it will take all that information and put it through here. But it's imperative that you're plugged into Ethernet, and also and then that would use that stereo audio. But mostly this is the basic setting. You need this checked and you need this checked, and that's going to get you where you need to go. This stuff I don't do anything with. Now, if you're like looking at your screen later and you're like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look like this. One, I have the pro version versus like I have a paid version, so it might be slightly different. But the very most important thing, which I know is in the free version, is show in meeting option to enable original sound. The other thing you could check into is up here when you go into Zoom. Let's see. Hopefully I've got the right screen up. When you go into Zoom here, check for updates right here. So if you've got an older version of Zoom, you might want to check for updates. And it would, if there was one, it would send you a pop-up here. Okay, so we've got that all squared away. Let's actually start a meeting. Okay, so see, it says, I'm up to date. Thank you. Let's actually start a meeting so you can see what this looks like from your screen. I'm just going to check in with you guys here in the comments, make sure we're not. I don't have music in professional mode on Zoom. I think you can get similar options by clicking advanced. Correct. That is correct. So the basic free program does work for beginners. And yes, if you don't have the pro setting, whomever left this comment here is correct. You can go, there's a little advanced button on the bottom right of that screen that you can hit, and it will give you the option to enable original sound in meeting. So many words. Okay, so yes, you do not need to pay for this to have that feature, and just look for that advanced audio. If you don't find advanced, you're gonna go up to Zoom in the top left corner of your screen, check for updates. It's gonna tell you if there's an update. If there needs to be one, go ahead and do it. I've already done it. So that's that. Now, let's come back to our meeting here. Good, 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 good. I don't know how this will work if I'm actually on Zoom and on StreamYard simultaneously. So let me just show you around the screen just a little bit. First of all, this little microphone down here, you're probably familiar with by now after a year of the Zoom life. This is your mute option, and it will mute your microphone. You want to make sure that's off. Obviously, if you're performing, you got to double check that your mic is on. And then all those settings we just walked through, they exist right here too. So if you click that little up arrow, all of this is here you can check. So we're on my audio box as my microphone, and we're on my headphones as a speaker. And then you can like do a few things here as well. But this whole audio settings menu is right here as well. So like I can pull that whole thing up. And yeah, if you're not on the professional plan, oh, like see, here's advanced. Let's see what's in advanced. It's not much on mine, but that's what you would look for is the advanced setting. If you're on the free version, you click that and it would give you a few of these options. Okay, so we already did that, but just in case you're already in your meeting and you're not sure, you can just check everything right here. Like I started one of my meetings earlier, and I was just using the internal microphone of the computer, and Amy was like, "You sound funny," and I said, "Oh, hold on," and I clicked this, and I went and clicked that, and I started speaking through my mic, and it sounded good. Okay, so this stops video, right? You can have, and you can upload your avatar in your settings so that it's not just like a little stick figure, it's actually you. And you have some video things here too. You can do virtual backgrounds if you're like not cool with showing everybody your house. This is an app, Epoch Cam. I think Bonnie was asking me about this the other day. It's going to be different for Android, I think. But you can download an app for your phone that turns it into a webcam. So I could, if I used Epoch Cam and I plugged my phone into my computer, I could make it a separate webcam. So I could like have a camera over here and one over here. And then there's virtual backgrounds. I don't use that. I just don't. One thing that's really cool I will show you here is touch up my appearance. I like this a lot. So here's my regular face. Here's my highly touched up face. And I leave it right about here. It's just a little nicer to look at yourself all day, every day in the Zoom screen. Oh, and look at that, adjust for low light. That's kind of nice too. My house does get kind of dark, especially in the evening. So that would be a cool feature. So this is a little off topic of what we're talking about, but just while we're here, I figured I'll show you some of the cool features it does. You can allow other people, if you have more than one person, if you go and click on their name, you can hit this more button, and there will be a thing that says allow record. So if you want, like for example, in my sessions, because my hard drive is so full, I've been having my clients record their sessions if they want it versus me recording it onto my hard drive and then having to upload it somewhere and then having to email it out. And like, it was creating an extra like hour or two of work for me per client per session. So it was like an extra probably 5 to 10 hours a week I was doing in recording people's sessions. So by doing that, if I click on someone's name here, obviously not my own, if there was a guest here, you could click on more, say allow record, and then they would get the record button on their screen, which is really cool. Chat, you guys are all probably familiar with. There's a little chat window. Now this is where we're gonna get into, so I'm actually gonna save screen for just a second because I wanna just show you these other features. The record button, it can record onto your hard drive or into the cloud. The cloud is nice because it backs it up, but the free version is not gonna have a ton of space. So it maybe is like 2 hours worth of recording, which if you're in Zoom meetings goes pretty quick. And then you can record to your hard drive, which, like I said, my hard drive is like, please stop. Please stop. We need a break. We're breaking up. Breakout rooms I haven't used yet, but this is really cool. I've seen this used in like choral settings and vocal arrangement, but I've also seen it just like in small group discussions. So say there's 50 people on a call and you want to like break people up into groups of 5, you would create 10 breakout rooms. And then you can assign automatically. They'll just randomly assign. You can assign the people yourself if you have groups in mind, or you can let them choose a room. Let's see what happens if we hit create. Okay, yeah, so we could name each room like by topic or by group leader or whatever. And then you can assign your people over here. And then once you open them, it'll send a little pop-up onto each user's screen that says, hey, come on out. So this is helpful for like sectional type stuff if you're going through like specific little things. I haven't used that a whole lot because I mostly meet with people one-on-one, but it's a really cool feature. Your reactions here, this is fun if you're in a Zoom room karaoke or open mic, you can send your hands clapping here, or if you're like listening to a lecture, got it. Oh, I love that. Oh, you're so funny. Whoa, so shocking. Let's party. Okay, so reactions. They stay up there. I'll leave this one up. It stays maybe for 10 seconds, and then it disappears. Here is what Shu was just asking about. How do you go live on Facebook or live on YouTube? That's going to go in these here. And you'll have to probably do some configuring. I know that Facebook for sure does not like, the Facebook Live platform does not like Google Chrome. So I am not going to be able to go live for you right this second because of that. And then same thing with YouTube. Like, let's see what happens. It's going to open my YouTube. I'm going to go to that one. No. Grant Zoom permission, see, edit, and permanently delete your YouTube videos, ratings, comments, and captions. I guess we want to allow that. Manage your YouTube account, allow. I have never gone live on YouTube from Zoom, but I mean, let's see. Okay, we're allowing that. Okay, so this is important here. One of the things that's cool about streaming onto YouTube Live, especially if you're like me and your hard drive is like had enough of you just putting hours and hours of video footage on it, you can go into an unlisted or private. The difference between this is public is just anybody can see it. So if you have a follower and you go live public, they're going to get a notification that you're live. If you do unlisted, you can share the link out. So I could record this training and then I could send the link to any of you and be like, hey, go check out this video I made, but it won't show up on my YouTube homepage. Like, it won't just be like out in the public. And then there's private, which only I can see, and I can't send you a link to share anything. But either one of these would be a really good option for backing up your live streams or backing up things that you just don't have necessarily room for on your disk, on your hard disk. So let's do an unlisted. Let's go live. Let's see what happens. This will be cool because you know what I can do later is share the video that we're creating now. And when I show you how to sing karaoke with the music, we'll get to hear what it sounds like if this works. Excuse me. There's a lot happening on my computer at once right now. It's like I said, the hard drive's pretty full. Oh, hello. Okay, so I have to mute this because my voice is coming back at me from the live video. So cool, we're live on Facebook now. Beautiful, and you can see the delay. That's when I just cleared my throat a second ago. Awesome, 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 awesome. Let me check in with you on StreamYard. How are we doing? Is that option for the basic? I don't know because I don't have it. You'll have to just go explore in basic, but I think a lot of these are features that are in basic, like the live stream and stuff. But yes, definitely the enable original sound is in the free option. Okay, so let's go back to our, goodness Lord, I got so many pages open. Let's go back to our live stream. Okay, so, oh, a little Pepper in the background sleeping on the couch. She's so cute. What I'm going to show you now is how to use the share screen features. And this is going to be how you're going to, if you want to have the music and your voice happening together, like in karaoke or a live stream. One thing that's very important to know about live streams, and we might get in trouble on YouTube. We'll see if it might kick us off, because what I'm going to show you is how to share like your Spotify or Apple Music through here to sing along to a karaoke track. And there is some like licensing stuff about that. So if you're broadcasting live on Facebook or YouTube, you probably can't broadcast these tracks. They'll get flagged, because the way it works is they recognize the digital fingerprint basically of these songs. So if I went on Spotify right now, which I'll show you how to do, and I played like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, it would recognize it and it would be like, you can't play this on Facebook. So you can live stream. I could play my piano and sing Dreams right now for you on my live stream, but I can't use copywritten recorded digital products and broadcast them. That's against the copyright laws. So if you're going to use this tactic, it would be like inside a closed Zoom room. Like for my birthday tomorrow, we're not going to broadcast that. We're just going to be in the room together, and you can use a Spotify track. Same would be like if you're working with a vocal coach, you would just use the Spotify or Apple Music track. And like, because it's not being broadcast anywhere, nobody's going to come flag it. It will be fine. Okay, so you can see we're at the share screen button here. Let's just click it regular first and show you how that works. So share screen, you can see there's a whiteboard here. I've found it pretty frustrating. I'm not great at the whiteboard. iPhone, iPad via AirPlay. Okay, so you could share. Let's see what happens if I AirPlay my phone. Interesting. Interesting. Click on it. I haven't done this before. We need a video of some sort. Wonder if I can open like a time and space portal if I play YouTube on my phone and then AirPlay YouTube to YouTube. Okay, so connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to mess with this right now because it's a little off topic and I've never done it before, so I don't want to waste your time with it. But know that there are things you can tinker in here that are pretty fun. Okay, so that's one option when we go under share screen, is that AirPlay. We can also plug in via the cable. What do they call that? Lightning cable. We can find the window I'm on StreamYard. Let's look at this. So now I'm sharing on StreamYard, on Zoom, and sharing Zoom on StreamYard. It's like, there's me, there's all the things. This is crazy. So we're going to stop that share, obviously. And then we have my Spotify channel. Now, you could just share this. Like, if I do this, look, now you see my Spotify on Zoom. And you can tell it's highlighted because it's got this green frame around it. And that would work. However, I didn't share sound. So if I wanted to play you something off Spotify, I would need to share sound. Or if I wanted to play you something off of YouTube, I would need to optimize for video clip. But that's not what I want to show you, because that's basically going to just show you this screen. So watch, if I show it, whoa. If I show it, it's going to show you this. And if you're singing karaoke or singing with your coach, like, we want to see you sing. We want to see your face. So this is not the ideal way to do it, although it would work. So I'm going to stop share. What we want to do in that case is come up here to advanced. So we've got basic, advanced, and files. Let's go to advanced. And we have slides, a portion of screen, music or computer sound only, and content from a second camera. So this is the one that we use for karaoke. We're going to have that share sound box checked down here. And we're going to go to music or computer sound only, share. So you probably won't be able to hear this on StreamYard if you're watching on Facebook, because I don't know if it'll share sound from there. But when you see the replay of this, when I put the link of the YouTube video up, you're going to see that there's going to be this karaoke track. So I'm going to play it. And I don't know if you can hear it on StreamYard, but you're going to be able to hear it on Zoom. And then I would sing along. Okay? So, which I'll do in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Ah! It's like, hey, this is a lot to do at one time. Thank you, lady. All right, so I have these tracks pulled up, and the key here is this. The only real drawback to using this, because what I can do is play that karaoke track, sing over it. You'll see my face on the video. You'll hear the track in the video. The only problem is the sound of your mic versus the sound here takes a little bit of adjusting. So your volume here on this window is important. If I played this all the way loud and sang over it, you probably wouldn't hear my voice. You would hear a ton of that computer sound, because it's a direct feed from the computer to the listener. So I usually hit this right about the halfway mark. And then what we're going to do is try this again. We're going to go, I'm going to share just the sound, and then I'm going to play my track, and I'm going to sing over it. You might not be able to hear the music on your end, and that's okay, because I'll play this YouTube link for you that you can check it out. But the way that you would test this, because there's no way of knowing how the balance is, because I can't hear my voice. I can only hear the track. So there's not really any way of me knowing, like, if they're in balance, other than like doing a quick recording or going live. And you can go live privately on your Facebook, or privately on your YouTube channel, or unlisted on your YouTube channel, and then play it back and see how the balance is, and then make adjustments. Or you could do, I have a whole private Facebook group that is just for me and my husband to go live in and like experiment. And nobody's in there but us, so it's blind to the world. You can just create your own private Facebook group, and then you can stream into the Facebook group, and nobody will see it but you. And so it does take a little bit of trial and error, but I definitely find that for me, this halfway point works. So let's try. Oh, where are we? There's so much happening here. Let's go back into Zoom. I'm going to hit record, because then maybe we can just get like that short clip, and you don't have to watch this whole video live on YouTube to hear how it sounds. So first, hit record. I'm going to record onto my hard drive. Then I'm going to hit share screen. I'm going to go, it would probably usually come up on basic. I'm going to go into advanced. I'm going to move the cursor to music or computer sound only. And then I'm going to go to this corner and make sure share sound is, why isn't it letting me do that? Let's see if I do it in basic. What happened? Share sound, share sound. I wonder if it's because it's live on YouTube. Interesting. Well, let's try it and see if it works. It says I'm going to share sound. It may or may not. So you see that this is a bit of trial and error, but once you kind of have it dialed in, it works. And if we weren't live on YouTube, it would probably work. So let's try one quick experiment with live on YouTube and recording, which you can see in my screen. I'm recording and I have live on YouTube. And then I'll take it off of YouTube and just record and see if that changes that setting there. So let's share computer sound. And then I'm going to open my Spotify. I'm going to play Always remember us this way. California sun. I don't know the words very well. La, 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 la. You look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. I have the lyrics here, let's see. Got it in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words. Every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Okay, I'm going to go pause that in Spotify. I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to stop recording on YouTube. Stop live stream. I'm also going to stop that initial recording. And then I'm going to hit record. Let's see if this changed our settings here. It didn't. Share sound. Why? Let's see what happens if I... Interesting. Well, we'll try it again. I have a lot of different programs running, so who knows why it wouldn't do that, but it does work in theory. Like, I've done this a bunch of times, so that's not normal that you can't hit that little box. And it may just be because I'm broadcasting this all over the world. All right, so I'm going to do one more quick recording so we can just test it after we get off the call, and I'll post them if they turn out. And if they don't, you still have the correct information. Okay, so record, share screen, share sound, and then Spotify. Burning in your eyes. You look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Okay, so I'm going to pause my Spotify. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to stop that recording. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just end my Zoom call here and let those recordings process, so maybe we can check them out while we're still live on StreamYard. Okay, so I'm going to take my, continue transcode. Now, I'm going to actually remove this so that you can just see me. Hello. How is everybody doing? I know that was like a lot of tech and a lot of jumping around. Let's see if there are some questions. Okay, the first question I see is, what if I don't have the technology for that, like that for karaoke tomorrow? What I would do is, what devices do you have, Shu? Do you have a computer and a lap and a phone, or an iPad and a phone? Tell me what devices you're working with. Do you know how to get the Zoom live recording put into the Facebook group after? Meaning, like our karaoke tomorrow, you want it to be broadcast into the whatchamacallit? Yes, Amy, you got to have headphones or else it's a total cluster F. And the mic is also very important, just because when the laptop mic sounds freaking terrible, it's just bad. And then with the headphones, you sound pretty good, but it's hard to get any like background sound or like music. Like if you were playing guitar or playing a track, you might not hear it. Okay, so Shu, I have a Mac Pro laptop, an iPhone, and the iPad 7th Gen. Okay, great. So what I would do for you is I would log on to the Zoom call with your iPhone and use hold on, sorry. The phone speaker is not so bad. Like I've done live streams just off the phone with no headphones, nothing, just like regular old speaker. And the iPhone has a pretty good microphone in it. So you could come onto the Zoom on your phone and just be there. And then what I would do is with I got a funny comment from YouTube. It says, "Could you still do your job barefoot? How would your day-to-day life change if shoes disappeared?" I think it would be exactly the same as I'm usually in slippers, Maddie. I'm in my sparkly gold slippers right now. Okay, so Shu, what I would do is come into the Zoom call for karaoke on your phone. And then if you have a Bluetooth speaker or some sort of a sound device that would amplify your track in the room. So I would put it, yes, your AirPods are a great option because they pick up the room pretty well. So yes, AirPods would be amazing. So it doesn't, if you have AirPods, you could come in on any device on the Zoom call, that would work. And make sure that original sound is enabled if you can find it. And then I'll show you what I'm gonna do here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use my phone. I'm going to find that same track, Lauren. This was a song that one of my clients sang last year. So I'm gonna play that track and I'm gonna broadcast it to my Sonos speaker. So if you had a Bluetooth speaker, you could hook up your phone to the Bluetooth and play it. So now hopefully, you have to play it kind of loud because it's way back there. Okay, so. Buried in your eyes, you look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. I'm gonna get this part. When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words. Every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Okay, so what I did there is I just played the song in the room and I let my mic pick up both my voice and the music. And you could do that with the AirPods too, totally. Maddie wants to know how often I go to the bathroom and if I can explain that process thoroughly. Interesting. I go probably in the regular amount of human times is my guess. I don't think it's like extra or less than. I think it's pretty average, Maddie. And that process is different for everyone. I'm like not a long person on the toilet. My husband takes an hour, you know? It's really different for person to person. So stupid. Okay, so hey Shu, can I use YouTube karaoke? Yes and no. If you are doing what I just did, which is just playing the track in the room through a speaker and letting it come through, then YouTube would be fine. But if you are using the Zoom settings, like I showed you before, where you play it through Zoom, you're not going to want to use YouTube because it'll delay because it's streaming and you're sharing. So it tends to not sync up. So I would find there's a ton of great karaoke music on Spotify and Apple Music. So I would go ahead and just find whatever you want to sing, find a track that you like there. And if you're going to use the laptop and the share screen, share sound, share computer sound option on the desktop version of Zoom. But if you are just hooking up a speaker and having it in the room with you, then yeah, YouTube would be fine because you'll be synced up with it. Okay, is there any other questions? The recordings afterwards, how would you get those into the group? I would have to download them, which is what just happened here. So let's see if I can show you this. Let's see what happened with our videos. Okay, so here, he's just recorded. I don't know if this will play sound for you. Let's see in my share screen options here in StreamYard. Window, Chrome. No, I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but I'm going to check in with it just to see if it worked out of curiosity. Okay, it did. So I'll share this into the Facebook group after we're done. And you guys can kind of get an idea. And the music is a little bit soft for my voice because this mic is powerful. So I would probably turn up my Spotify track just a little bit when you hear that. All right, so new comments. I'm still new to this, so it's going to take a while. Okay, yeah, it's worth playing around with Shu, but for tomorrow, if you just want to have fun, just like I think that, like I said in the very beginning, the very easiest way to do this is just play music from one device and join the meeting on the other device, and then make sure the original sound is enabled inside of your meeting. That's going to be the easiest. And that's how I do with most of my clients. But I have a couple clients that are like, hey, can you hear the music? And I'm like, yeah, I can. Like, I can kind of hear the music. And for me, that's not as important because as long as I can hear the tonal center of the music, I'm more focused on hearing my clients' voices. I want to make sure that I can hear their voices. And the accompaniment is more for them than for me anyway. So it's not as important. But if you were performing and you wanted that track to come through, or if you were, like I said, like doing karaoke, or you wanted to sing along with the track inside of the Zoom call for that lesson, you would want to try this share sound feature. And then I wish Spotify karaoke track came with the lyrics. Well, what I'm doing, Amy, if I show you my screen, so my entire screen, I've got StreamYard pulled up in one tab where I'm streaming. I have the lyrics here in the I'll Always Remember Us This Way. I have suppressed background. Oh, that was the Zoom Help Center. And then this is the YouTube page that it pulled up when we started doing that. So I just have them here. And then what you can do is if you want to see, your face, you can just take this into another tab and then come back here. So you can see my screen right now. I'm going to take out, I'll take out myself here so you can. Back in the stream, I'm going to take you off my screen because that is craziness. Okay. Oh, was I muted? Sometimes when I take myself out of the screen, it mutes me. So if I'm not in the feed, sometimes it takes the mic out of the feed too. So that was my mistake. Anyway, any other questions besides the sound disappearing? What I said, Amy, I hope you could see the screen. What I did is I just I pulled up, yeah, totally. It's because I dropped myself out of the stream here and it automatically mutes the mic, which was my bad. So hopefully you saw what I did. I just pulled up the lyrics on a separate tab, and I made 2 separate tabs, and then I split screen it with that green button up in the left-hand corner. I put them on 2 things so you could see yourself and the Zoom call in one screen, and then you could see your lyrics in the other screen. And yeah. Does anybody else have any questions at all? I know this is a lot of information and a lot of tech, but the most simple thing, so just to recap, the very most simple thing you need, the bare minimum, is 2 devices for your lessons to really be, or like your live stream karaoke, whatever you're doing. This is most helpful if you're going to take on a vocal coach online, because you'll need a way to play your accompaniment track and you'll need a way to be on the call. And you can do that in one device with those settings I just showed you. So you don't necessarily need 2 devices. If you have a laptop, you can play your accompaniment from that share sound feature. Okay. Chrome is not bad. It just does not interface well with Facebook. I love Google Chrome. So I would suggest Firefox, or I think Internet Explorer is the other one. But Firefox works great to go into Facebook Live. So the only thing that I've had trouble with that is that I think my Zoom settings are using my default browser, which is Chrome. So I think I would have to switch my default browser to Firefox in order to live stream my Zoom to Facebook, because it's automatically running through Chrome when I open it. So Firefox, I think, would be the best alternative. Let's see, anything else? So I was recapping. AirPods are great. Earbuds with a mic piece are great. 2 devices are like kind of the bare minimum if you don't want to run all that through your laptop and do all that work. You cannot really stream YouTube. Like if you are doing the one where you're playing your accompaniment on the same device as you're on the meeting, it's not going to work with YouTube because of the streaming. There will be a delay, even though they're both coming from your end. It's too much to process. So you've got to go through Apple Music or Spotify or another, like, you could download, like if you were doing original music, you could like download your track from GarageBand. You could probably use GarageBand as the place you're playing music from, or maybe even like, you know, another like Pro Tools or Reaper or another DAW. You could probably use a DAW to sing along to, but again, I would probably download that track. I would probably bounce it, download it, and sing along to it in Apple Music or in whatever music platform you have on your computer. Original sound is the key to life for not squashing overtones. So that's the basic, is we want original sound to be on. And in Zoom, it's up in this left-hand corner. I didn't share my screen, but you got to turn it on in the upper left-hand corner once you're in the meeting. To share the sound, you go into the advanced settings inside of the share screen. So you go into share screen and you toggle to that middle section. And I think those share sound buttons disappeared just because you're sharing computer sound. My video did work, so I'm going to say that those little things when I was like, oh, I don't know why I can't check those, I think that's okay because it did work, and I'll show you the video afterwards. And then, yeah, to test your levels, if you want to just make sure, you could just hit that record button on Zoom, record yourself once or twice, get your levels all dialed in, and then you're good to go, and you kind of have a base level, you kind of have a base understanding of that. And then you can also test any live streaming in a private group that you own. So you can just be the only person that's in the group and no one will see you. I recommend doing that for anybody who wants to live stream. I do it. I live stream to myself all the time just to like make sure things are going well. And sometimes the other thing is nice is because Facebook, if you own the group, also stores the recording and you can download it. So for example, if you were like wanting to practice your song and you were recording or streaming it while you were practicing, you could, if you did like a really good take of it, you could take that stream, download it, put it into your iMovie or whatever editing software. There's also online video editing software, and you could like take out that clip and share that clip to your social media. So there's a lot of things you can do, but I love that both YouTube and Facebook groups, like if it's your own channel, you can use that as a free backup. Like you don't have to worry about losing that data because it's going to be on your channel, but it's not going to be open to the public eye. So yeah, I think that's everything. So if you have any more questions, drop them into the chat. And if I don't get to them right now, we will get to them afterwards, and that will do it. Friends, thank you for coming live. If you come in on the replay, hit that hashtag replay so I know you were here. And any follow-up questions? I know, too much information. I know. This was like a heavily technical lesson. So take what's best for it. And of course, if you're working with your own gear and you're like, help, just send me a message and we'll take a look at it. I am not a super duper techie person. I legit learned all of this off of YouTube and trial and error. So if you're not sure what to do, I will also maybe link to a guy in, I think he's in Denmark maybe, who I originally learned this from. And he's a lot more succinct with his words than I am. Even though English is his second language, he's like way better at teaching this than me. So I'll put a few links in the comments of this video in the group, and you guys can study it further if you like. And don't hesitate to reach out with questions, although I am no guru, that's for sure. So, all right, have an awesome Saturday. Love to see you here. Thank you for your participation, and I'll see you soon.